Alarming. And AI just wiped out $285 billion from the financial markets. Yes, just one single AI, not including all of the others, just wiped out $285 billion. And we're already seeing companies, especially in the markets now, divide themselves into two camps. You've got those who are embracing AI and they are making more profit as a result and they're future-proofing themselves. And then you've got the others who are really resisting AI. And I think we know which is going to work out for the best. So this new update was from Anthropic. And I mean, what they did was basically just wipe out a lot of really important services that are usually very high cost, high value services. Software, it's financials, it was asset management, and you look at Goldman, they dropped 6% in a single trading session. 6%, all because of this one update. Now, what do you think is going to happen when these updates increase in frequency? So what you're seeing right now is people that have been used to the financial markets being a certain way for a long period of time, and that's getting disrupted really rapidly. And that's why I'll give you some tips in this video, but you've really got to just sort of zoom out as to what's happening and stop looking at the headlines and all the, the news that's coming out that's very specific. You've really got to zoom out and you've got to ask what is actually happening at the bigger level. And it is that these forecasts seem to have been, actually they underdid it with a lot of these forecasts about the number of job losses that we would see. It's going to be a lot more than we even anticipated. Taking a lot, and we'll get on to jobs later because we've just seen the worst job readings in a very long time. I mean, it's pretty serious what's just happened. So because this update handles contract reviews and legal briefings and things like that, this is stuff that I think one commentator said it used to take a team of 6 analysts weeks to put this together. What this update can now do in, I don't know if it's seconds or minutes, either way, it doesn't matter. Even if it's minutes, that's pretty significant as to what it's now doing. In fact, because of this, the NASDAQ 100 actually slid 2.4% in a single day. And another tech-based ETF actually dropped by 4.6% off of this news. So it's not sort of what you're hearing in the media that it's just a big tech sell-off because, it's overbought and all of this. There's a lot deeper to this, and this is why you got to zoom out. Otherwise, people are gonna really miss the bigger picture and what's actually happening and what, more importantly, what's coming. Because you're seeing a rotation now. You're seeing a repricing, you're seeing a rotation. Oh, look at this big boy. Hey, look at him. He's actually not even that big. There's some much bigger ones here in the park. But the other one that dropped quite a lot was a stock that I mentioned a while back, and that's Xero, X-E-R-O, as in zero, accounting software, etc. This is going to get hit really, really hard. Any of these sort of softwares are going to get hit hard because AI is coming that can start to do all this. So you've really got to start looking now, and I gave you a sort of clue as to what to look at next around commodities and mining and what is needed. People are focusing on energy as well and data centers, but they're actually missing the main point. You don't just focus on the energy and the data center itself. You got to think before that, what actually goes into building these things. That's the key difference. So it's no surprise to me that Xero as a stock dropped 16% when that news came out. I mean, 16% in a single trading session. The things that are going on right now are unheard of, but there are a lot of opportunities at the same time. You just got to be very careful. And remember last week how I shared with you about Klarna cutting 700 roles and replacing 700 agents with one single AI chatbot. It's unbelievable. Well, now we've got the data out on Salesforce. So let me just tell you this. Salesforce AI now handles 1 million conversations. So they actually cut 4,000 roles. So if you thought Klarna was big, cutting 700 roles, Salesforce actually cut 4,000 roles. And now Duolingo as well, which is, if you've never heard of, whoa, I almost just walked into this guy. My goodness, you don't want to walk into him. So yeah, Duolingo actually cut loads of contractors out as well. absolutely loads of contractors out, and they've replaced with AI as well. And actually, there's a little tip for you. Actually, take a look at Duolingo if you know how to analyze and value a stock. Have a quick look at Duolingo, and there's a little tip for you right there. And if you ever want to look inside my personal investment portfolio, you can. I don't really talk about it a lot here on socials, but I'll leave the link in the description. You can see my monthly videos, the investment videos. You can see my own investment spreadsheet. Yes, that's actually what I'm invested in right now. You can see what I'm looking to invest into. You can see significantly undervalued stock picks that I've either bought or I'm looking to buy. You can pretty much see all of it. There's hundreds of hours of finance videos as well in there. So yeah, I'll leave the link, and it's not expensive either. So I'll leave the link and you can check that out. So they are looking to redo the forecast then on employment, because right now it's looking as though around 100 million jobs are going to be displaced by 2030. So it's not a long time now, not much of a period at all. By 2030, 100 million jobs. And they did a massive sort of study as well, a big survey on all of the different companies, lots of different companies, and asked them about their hiring and if they're looking to actually displace their workers with AI. And 40% of those companies said, yes, we are looking to replace our workers with AI. So think about that for a moment. If you've got 40% of companies admitting it, you know it's probably more like 80%. and if not 100% of companies are looking to, then it's probably because they're a plumbing company or they're an electrical company or they're something like that. You know, but even then, if they're a big company, they're going to outsource customer service and all sorts of other things. So in fact, we're going to see a massive amount of job displacement, like, you know, we talked about on last week's video. But I do want to talk about a point that I've seen a lot in the headlines over the last 2 to 3 weeks as well. And you've got all these historians and you've got all these economists saying that, well, you know, this displacement isn't going to be as fast as people think it is. Let's get across the street here. And they're saying because, you know, you look at the Industrial Revolution and you look at electricity and you look at machines and you look at all these other things. Yeah, but that was completely different situation. And if you actually look at all these different revolutions, they've gotten faster with every single one. So this time you've got the culmination of not only tech, energy, AI, robot, you've got all of these things happening at exactly the same time. So this one is going to be fast, and I think it's going to take a lot of people by surprise, which is why I say start thinking about all of this now. Start thinking about your job, about your work, how you earn your money. You've honestly got to start thinking about this now. Think about your investments. If you've got a pension because you're retired, think about your pension. Genuinely start thinking about these things. Because the other thing I should probably say is the last revolutions kind of replaced labor, I'd say is the main thing. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. It replaced heavily labor, whereas this one is going to replace experience, knowledge, skills, and also analysis. So you're going to have a lot of stuff replaced by this one. So what you'd look at is high margin knowledge work, okay? So any of the big companies that you see on the exchanges that do this sort of work, watch them closely. And I'll tell you, I'm really not invested in a lot of them because I think they're going to get hit really hard. So yeah, you've got a lot to think about already, and we're only just starting the video. Some of you are probably even taking notes on this one. And if you're not ready, there's a couple of things I would suggest. Both of these things are free, okay? Free to do. Number one, subscribe to the channel here. It's easy, you just click a button, it's free to do, and I'll dig into all the geopolitics, finance, and all the things that affect your life and your wallet, so you don't need to worry about staying up to date with it all. I'll fill you in on it as and when it happens. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I'll put a free report today, a financial report, in the description. Free, you don't have to pay for it. And I'll also put a free training to an online stock webinar. So if you don't know much about the stock market and what's happening and how capital's rotating and everything going on, I'll put a free link as well there. So you can get that, join the webinar, it's completely free training, you don't have to pay for that either. And lastly then, as a special bonus, I'll put 1 or 2 of my paid courses in the description. You can see the link to them there. And I'll give you a 90% off coupon on whichever course is on promotion today, and that'll be valid for the next 24 hours. So go and check that out. Okay, continuing on. The next big problem then is this $2.2 trillion ticking time bomb in the government bond market. And this one is really serious. In fact, it's so serious that you've got some central bankers actually coming out and talking about this. So one of them that came out today was talking about how hedge funds have borrowed $3 trillion in repo markets. This is about 25% of their total assets, using government bonds as collateral. I mean, you cannot believe some of the stuff that's going on right now. This is an absolute ticking time bomb. And everything, remember, is interconnected. It's all interconnected. The financial markets now. Here's a nice little spot. Let's stand here with the water behind. And I've got to read this part out to you because I couldn't believe this. In the UK alone, hedge fund borrowing against gilt, so these are your government bonds, rose over 1,000% in just over a year to £100 billion. The global repo market is worth about $16 trillion, okay? So you can see how interconnected all of this is. It's a ticking time bomb. If you get this sort of crack, right, so confidence starts cracking, you get volatility spikes and everything else, it's gonna lead to lenders starting to pull the funding. And when they pull the funding, hedge funds will start to get margin calls, and then they'll begin to dump. So they'll start dumping all the bonds. That's going to have a knock-on effect. It's going to have a cascade effect. And you can see the example from what happened with gold and silver, which we'll touch upon in a moment. Gold and silver, this cascade effect, more sellers, more sellers, more sellers, and then the price goes lower, lower, lower. Now, if that happens with government bonds, it's going to push yields up. And the governments are already, you look at the debt to GDP ratios, they already can't afford to service this debt. So I really think we're starting to enter territory now of some major ripples, shall we say, really. Okay, we got another little friend joining us here. He's doing a bit of fishing today. And just to sort of cement this in more, I was grabbing today some of the biggest asset classes and seeing what their prices are at the moment, seeing how they have been performing. So the S&P, as of recording this, is only 3% off its all-time high, okay? But underneath, though, you've got Netflix, which I don't watch, down 40%. Microsoft is now down 29%. These are from the all-time high, okay? You've got Tesla down 21%, Nvidia's down 19%, Bitcoin, we'll talk about that in a short while, down 51%, Ethereum's down 63%, MicroStrategy, highly leveraged, down over 80% right now. This is wild what's happening. Gold and silver also down from their all-time highs. Getting a lot of questions. Neil, are you selling your gold and silver? Absolutely 100% no, I'm not selling my gold and silver. And that's because all the analysis I've already done for you and the fundamentals haven't changed. All that's changed right now is the price. But gold and silver are still your most solid assets in this environment. There's nothing that even comes close. Maybe some other commodities, but that's about it. And also, a lot of people are talking about commodities now, and you're seeing a lot of the miners being talked about, silver and gold, but they're not valuing them correctly. They're valuing them the same way they'd value any other stock, but that's not the right way to value it. I just did a really long video on the Patreon about this, and I'll show you how to actually value it properly. But if you don't want to watch that video, it's the EV over R ratio. That's what you want to look at, and that's how you calculate the value. It's how many ounces are still in the ground, and then what the value of those ounces are versus the company price. So again, you've really got to start to learn all this stuff if you want to do well in the period we're coming into, because it is so crazy and so volatile. And I will just touch upon Bitcoin as well here, because people ask me about it all the time. They say, I don't talk about crypto often enough. The reason why is because I don't look at crypto the same way that many of you look at it. I see it purely as any other speculative asset that I'm going to buy in the bear market and I'm going to sell it in the bull market. That's why I know so many negative comments, shall we say, when I sold all of my crypto in the summer of 2025. I don't know if it was July or August, whenever it was. But I said, guys, sell and get out now because the bear market is coming. I would get out before Q3, right? And then what actually happened? The bear market started in October. And you only have to look at the previous cycles. That's all you need to do. Look, and I'll give you an example here. So here's the Bitcoin bear market drawdowns, okay? So in 2011, it drew down 93%. In 2015, it was 86%. In 2018, it was 84%. 2022 was 77%. So it's probably going to do another 4% or something this time. So it might be, say, 73% as a drawdown. But either way, you look at it and, people were saying it will never drop below 100K again. Well, I think you're going to get it to about 40K on this cycle. Save this video, clip it, whatever you want to do, because I'm fairly confident around that, somewhere around 40K. So what have I done then? I've already put my buy orders in now, as strange as that sounds. But then I'm not going to look at it every day. I'm not looking at the price. My orders are in at 40K. So when it hits 40K, that's when the system will buy it all for me. And that's really all I'm doing. But I wouldn't be buying it, above that sort of price. That's not where I'd be buying it. Okay, so we'll talk about the layoffs now then, and this is January, which you've got to take it in context. So all the economists and all these other media outlets are saying, wow, look, there's going to be this massive crash because there was 200% increase in January on layoffs over December. Well, yeah, because you've got to think what happens in December. You've got all the seasonal employees and contractors and workers. So they lay them off in January. It's not anything new. This has been going on for a long period of time. This has happened for as long as you can remember. It's just not usually as strong as this, but that's pretty normal. This happens over and over again. But are the layoffs sort of worrying right now? Yes, they are, because it is, again, a lot of AI. And just wait till the robotics gets underway. We're seeing this start to accelerate now because they're actually using AI to improve upon what humans have done. You think how long it took to get the robots, Atlas and robots like that, to the level that they got to. You think how long that took humans to do it. Well, AI is going to just accelerate that now. They're going to ramp it up massively. And you're going to see that happening as well. And that will also take some very simple jobs. It's already done all the warehousing, not all the warehousing, but a lot of the warehousing. That's why Amazon laid off 40,000 staff. So you're going to see a lot more of this coming. Okay, so let me sort of wrap this up and give you a few pointers then. There's a nice little bench here. Let's sit down on this bench. A couple of pointers then. Firstly, the number one thing I would do is I would probably ask AI itself. I tell it about your job and what you do and ask it, is my job safe? And if so, for how long? That's the first thing I'd do. The second thing I'd do is I'd start looking at retraining if necessary. So if your job is at risk, I'd look at retraining. If you're a plumber, which is the example I always use, you're probably not at risk. And actually it's a great trade to have, so you'll be fine. But if you're an accountant, a bookkeeper, you do customer service, you're on the phones, things like that, again, really, very seriously be careful. Let me just say that. Be very, very careful, because AI is coming for your job. The second thing I'd do is start looking at your finances, your portfolio, your pension, your personal situation. Really start reviewing that now, because it is going to be impacted very soon by what's going on. Definitely, as I always say, start training yourself. Doesn't have to be on my stuff. Train with whoever you feel is like-minded to you. Okay, so if you don't like some of the stuff I say financially, you probably won't like my financial programs, okay? Because we go into massive detail. There's tons of exercises, but it does give you a solid portfolio. So start doing some programs now. Whenever there's sales, like if I offer a course on sale, at least take a look at it. Look at other people's programs. Try and figure out which is going to be right for you. But definitely start re-educating yourself now and sort of taking that risk away from your pension and your portfolio. And I really feel that if you do that while everyone else is putting their head in the sand, you won't just survive, but you'll actually thrive. thrive. And that wasn't meant to rhyme, but it sounded good anyway. Other than that, please subscribe to the channel and maybe share this video with someone. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think today. And apart from that, I'm going to enjoy my lovely walk here in the park. It's a beautiful walk, and with the sunset behind. So take care, God bless. I'll see you on the next one.